Hey addicts, it's Alex. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing the best and worst of e.l.f. One of you guys had asked for it, and I thought that was a great idea. Since you guys know I talk about e.l.f. all the time. I have a ton of products from e.l.f. Still a ton more to get, but I do have quite a bit of a collection. I think e.l.f. and ColourPop are the brands that I have the most products from. But today we're talking about e.l.f. Cosmetics. I'm going to talk about my favorite products, my least favorite products, kind of the in-between products and whatnot, but I'm going to be going from my least favorite to my top favorite, and it's not necessarily in perfect order, but it is still going to be ranging from least to best, most favorite. So let's get started. All right, let's get started. So we're first going to start off with the e.l.f. Long Lasting Lustrous Eyeshadow, and it's kind of a silvery eyeshadow. Now, I felt better about this until I tried putting it on today. I actually started using this today and was doing a different eye look, something a little bit more cool toned, and I put this on as like my lid, at least my lid primer, and I had to redo the whole makeup thing. And I think this was the reason why I had to redo everything, because it was just not working. I tried to cover it with a silver eyeshadow. I tried to make it work, but I ended up having to take my makeup off today. And first of all, my nails are getting long, so it's like hard to get in here. But it's just like, I don't know. There's not enough pigment that comes off for it. And for me, like this kind of this like in the inside kind of reminds me of ColourPop Liberty, but it's not an eyeshadow. I don't think it's, or is it? It is an eyeshadow, but I was getting more of the idea of like a primer type of eyeshadow, like something that's a little more thicker, kind of like those ColourPop cream gel pots or whatever. But it just isn't pigmented enough, and it's a little bit like crumbly. Now, I will give it the benefit of the doubt. This is a year old, so maybe, you know, it's just getting old. But it's not something that I gravitated towards a lot. I got it for a Halloween makeup tutorial for my 2016 Halloween makeup looks. I think I got it for Elsa and my vampire Elsa. But I think I only used it for that, and maybe I've touched it here and there, but I never go for it. And then today I tried going for it for this video, and it just was a little crumbly. So I don't know if you guys have tried the Long Lasting Lustrous eyeshadows. Let me know what you think of it. Whether you like them or not, or if you've noticed after a long time they get kind of crumbly and not as good as they were when you first bought them. But I couldn't recommend this to you guys, so I'm going to put this in the worst. It looks really pretty in the pot, I'll give it that. Now I want to talk about the e.l.f. liquid lipstick. So, you know, these are still up for debate, but I just have not been touching them. So this is like my little update on the e.l.f. liquid lipsticks that you guys have been wanting to hear about. I have 5 of the 6 here that I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about the other one later in the video, because that one I actually like. But these are kind of in a range. Some of them I kind of like a little bit, but I'm still kind of like debating. But like today, I was thinking that this was more of a middle range in this best and worst thing, but my natural lip color was peeking through on this. I know when I filmed my video, my natural color was really peeking through on this, and then this one was just like not good at all. A lot of, you know, it was very patchy when I put the black one on. And then these worked okay, but I still had the problem of a little bit of my lips peeking through. Now the reason why the other one is going to be in one of my favorite parts is because it doesn't really matter if my natural lip color is peeking through, because it blends really well with the color, because the color is Marvelous, which is a pink shade. So my natural lip color blends really well with it, so it doesn't look like my natural color is peeking through. But because these are obviously not my natural lip colors, they peek through. And I had high hopes for these. I got these free in an e.l.f. giveaway that I won, and you know, maybe on camera, like my lip might look okay to you, but like if you look in person, my skin tone was peeking through, my lip tone was my natural lip color was peeking through, and like it was just frustrating. I went in with multiple layers, like, and I never reach for these. So for these, I don't think I'm necessarily, you know, not going to use them, but I may just like kind of pair them with other lipsticks, or maybe I will use them in like my fancy tutorials where I use these as like eyeshadow bases, or create a skull with them or whatever. So like, especially with this black one, you know, I could use that for a Halloween tutorial. But I didn't even, when I went to film my half skull makeup look, I didn't even use this one. I used Friday from ColourPop, because I knew I could trust ColourPop Friday more than I can trust this, and I was like, the last thing I want to do is put this all over my face and the makeup tutorial look like crap. So I went with that one instead. So, but yeah, I don't know how much use I'm really going to get out of these. I still gravitate towards my ColourPop liquid lipsticks, but I really need I really need another brand because I'm always showing you ColourPop, and I thought, oh, I could try e.l.f. But the e.l.f. ones aren't really working out. I'm just not a huge fan. They're not like the worst thing in the world, but I'm definitely not reaching for them. So, okay, so that was kind of more of the worst of e.l.f. But now we're gonna kind of get into the kind of like still up for debate or something that's not my favorite, only from kind of like a default reason. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but we're gonna work our way up to my favorites. But the next two are ones that I'm still up for debate. I kind of love and hate, or kind of don't know how I feel about them. But the first one is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. I've been using this a lot, and I don't really completely understand how I feel about it. Like, I know that there's parts of it that I really like, and there's parts of it that I don't like. And I think the part that I don't like is that I feel like it clings to my dry patches. Not super bad, but I do notice my dry patches peeking through. But it is the winter time, so maybe I'm just being a little bit harsh on it. And then I love how thin it feels on the skin, but part of me is like, is it like so thin that it really just like goes into my skin and does absolutely nothing for my complexion? Like, I don't know. So I'm still testing it out. I've tried it with a brush. I've tried it with a beauty blender. And, you know, I think overall I like it, but there's just things that I'm like, I wouldn't repurchase it at this point. Like, I'll use it. I think there's benefits to it, but I don't think I'm going to repurchase it. So I'm kind of like up in the air on how I feel about it. And you'll be seeing like a demo first impressions review video on that product soon. Now the next product is the e.l.f. Intense Ink Eyeliner. This one I really liked when I first got it because it's really, well, at least at first, it felt like really easy to work with because it is like a felt tip. So it's not a liquid, it's not a gel, but it's like a marker. So you can easily put it on. It has a really thin tip, which I really liked. But I noticed that like once you put it in place, you can't keep rubbing back over it, even just to touch things up or make things darker, get to a different point on your eye, but you end up touching the other part, then it like peels off, or like, it just, I really liked it at first, and I don't know if it got worse after like a couple weeks or something, or a couple uses, or what the deal was. Maybe like my eyeshadow is getting caught on here, so maybe I need to wipe it off before each time that I use it. I don't know, but I noticed that because I was having some problems with it, my wings would just get longer and longer, thicker and thicker. So I don't know, I haven't really touched it in the past month because of that, because I was just getting so frustrated with it. But I remember really liking it at first. So I kind of don't know how I feel about it. Casey Holmes recommended it, but on her Snapchat, but I'm not sure. And it, like, the ink comes out really well. It's just whenever you try to go over it, when you already place it there, like if you just touch it at all, or you're trying to make it thicker, you're trying to make it a little darker, like it ends up just not working. And then you have to go overboard to make the line even. So I don't know how I feel about this. We shall see. All right, so the next products I'm going to talk about are not necessarily bad products, but they're products I just never use because I just don't like them by default. And what I mean by that is that they're all loose powders. I am not a fan of loose powders. I'm open to trying new things just in case, you know, the product end up being so good that it's worth the pain that it is, because loose powders like this is so messy. Powder just gets everywhere, and this is not as messy. The eyeshadows, I actually have three. I have no idea what the third one is. I have, these are the e.l.f. Mineral eyeshadows in Wild, and this one is Sassy, and then I have a third one, and then this is the e.l.f. HD powder, which this I don't really regret buying. Like, I still can see myself using it, but the thing is, the only time I use it, with the exception of maybe me just trying to use it just to try to use it up, but like when I really actually want to use it is if I'm baking. The thing is, I don't bake. I know baking was a big thing like last year, I guess, but I'm just not into it. It's just like not worth the effort. It's a pain in the butt. Like, I don't really care that much. I'm not really a big powder person, so it's just like it's not worth the effort. But if I ever had to, you know, if I ever wanted to do a baking video where I teach you guys how to bake, this is the product that I would go to. So it's not like it's a waste to have. It's there if I need it, but the thing is, I just don't really ever feel the need to bake. So I'm just kind of, not regret purchasing it, but just keep that in mind, guys. If you're not into loose powders, it's only to me worth it if you like to bake. And these, you know, and these are like, I'm just not a huge fan of. If it's going to be a loose eyeshadow, it better be like the most glittery thing in the entire world that looks banging on your eyelids. But the thing is, these colors are a little bit dark. Whenever I try to do like a really pretty lid, I gravitate towards lighter colors, and then I do really dark colors, maybe the outer corner or the deep crease or something. So if I have like a glittery eyeshadow, I want it to be like a gold or a silver or a baby pink, not more on the dark brown side. And even this one's more of a transition-y type of shade, which I feel awkward for a loose powder. So I just don't really ever reach for these. I try to, and I do, I just never really like it, and then I end up going in with a different eyeshadow anyway. I think the biggest thing is that it's a loose powder. Maybe if these colors were in like a flat pan, I would feel differently. Like I feel like Sassy in a flat pan would be really pretty in the crease, but I just can't get into them because I feel like they're not worth the pain of them being a loose powder. All right, now these next products are not necessarily bad products. They're just products I just don't really typically go for. There's other products that I just prefer. The first thing I'm gonna talk about is this e.l.f. Angle Eyeliner Brush. I'm actually sure not exactly what it's called because it's not on the brush, but it's like one of those angled eyeliner brushes. And you know, it pretty much looks exactly like all the other angled eyeliner brushes out there. The thing is, it's just a little bit thicker. And for me, when I'm using an angled brush like this, I really want the brush to be as thin as possible to give me as thin of a line as possible, especially when I'm trying to get to the outer wing. Like that's essential. And for me, like I could get like, you can get really out of hand with your gel liner, so you want the brush to be thin, so that way if you do need to go thicker to make your eyeliner even, it's not already so thick that when you go to make it even, it gets even thicker and then it's just too thick. So not that this is horrible. I think maybe if I use this, I would probably use it just to put on like black powder on top of my eyeliner, because I think it would be perfect for that. But if you use it for gel, it may just get too thick unless you're really good with your eyeliner. For whatever reason, this happens to work for you. But for me, I always go for like my SL Miss Glam angled brushes or whatever other brushes that I have. This is like, I never go to this one. But if I did, I would use it for powder over the gel. But it's just kind of like, that's why I'm kind of like up in the air. Like it's okay, but it's just a tad bit thicker than my other ones, and I would prefer the other ones. The next thing is the e.l.f. Glitter Primer. I just never have a need for it. I got it to put on like glitter on my lid, but I don't have anything that would require me to use this glid on my lid. And then when my Ardell lash glue broke, I ended up trying to use this as eyelash glue, but it didn't work. Actually, it worked a little bit. Like I did a good job of getting like the center and the outer part, but it could not get the inner part to stick. And so I ended up cutting my Duo lash glue so that way I could find a way to get some of the product to come out, and it's been a pain in the butt to work with, but I'm able to get product out, so whatever, so I can wear lashes. But I think this is the only time that I've used it, was to try to put on false lashes. And that didn't work. But this is not, I don't think this is meant for false lashes, so I'm not going to give this a hard time. But so there's nothing necessarily wrong with this. I just haven't had an opportunity to really test it out the way that it should be tested out. So it's just been kind of sitting around. So I would love to know what you guys think about it. Have you used this? Have you used it with glitters, or what have you used it with that it ends up working really well? Or do you guys not like it? Like, let me know what you guys think. But I just don't know. The next thing I want to talk about is the e.l.f. Healthy Glow Bronzer. I'm like, I have no idea why this is a bronzer. I don't know, because I just can't imagine having something that's kind of like highlighty be a bronzer. I mean, some people might like that, but like I already don't like bronzing and contouring enough, but if I do bronzer contour, it needs to be a matte finish. So I can't imagine ever using this as a bronzer or a contour powder. But I have liked using it a couple times to do my cheekbone. It's just like a subtle glow of a highlight on your cheekbone, and it's a gold and it's light enough for my skin tone. So if I want to go for a gold, I go for it. However, this is not like the best gold highlighter ever. Like, so I can use this product. I have found ways to use it. Maybe I can even use it as an eyeshadow. I think when I first got it, I used it as an eyeshadow too. But for me, it's just kind of like, I'm trying to use it up. It's not a bad product. I don't go for it. I don't love it, but I can use it up. Like, so, you know. The next thing I want to talk about is the e.l.f. Tone Correcting Powder, and I got it because it was cool. I love all these different colors. I read that you're supposed to swirl them together, but I just didn't get it. I just didn't really get into it, so it's just been sitting there. I feel like I need to give it another shot, but like I first got it thinking this is going to be this really cool product, and then I just couldn't get into it, so it's just been sitting in my makeup drawer. I love that it comes with a mirror. I like the packaging, but yeah, I'm just not, however, it does get a little dirty, I will say. I like it if it just didn't get dirty. It kind of reminds me of the NARS packaging. But yeah, I'm just not feeling it. So I have some products that have been sitting in my makeup drawer for years and I've yet to try them, and I really need to try them or give them another chance. That's one of them. The next thing is the e.l.f. Smudge Pot, and this is like, I think Cocoa Cutie. Yeah, this is Cocoa Cutie. I got this specifically for a Halloween makeup tutorial, which was my werewolf makeup tutorial. I'm not even sure if I ended up using it. I might have, but I specifically got it for that, but I never use it. So the Smudge Pots I was hoping would be kind of like a dupe for a MAC paint pot, but I'm not really sure if that's the case. I mean, definitely this brown color is really dark, so it's not a really good way to judge that, because I'm trying to find something that is a dupe for, I don't know, one of the more popular ones that people like to put on their lid and their brow bone that like is more natural looking. But this was just too dark. But I think in the tutorial, I ended up using it as like a gel, like a liner. So I think this could be used as like a liner really nicely. But the thing is, I don't like brown. So I don't remember this being like bad quality. I haven't used it in a while. I think it's just because it's a dark brown that I'm not into it. Maybe I should try giving brown liner a chance, but it's just not my thing. So it's nothing, there's nothing, you know, there might not necessarily be anything wrong with it. It's just not my cup of tea. So, because there's some makeup that I get specifically for a tutorial or a particular look that I'm going for, and then I don't ever use it again. So it's kind of like, was it really worth it for that look? Halloween though, it's worth it. I love Halloween. And then the next thing is the e.l.f. Toasted Baked Eyeshadow, which is really pretty. I'll do a swatch for you. I'm not gonna do a swatch of everything because it'll just take too long, but it's okay. Well, it's okay. I think I've used this. I tried to use it on the lid. I didn't really like it because it had that baked toasted look. I thought it would be really pretty. But like once you swatch it in, I think it'd probably be a good crease shade. But I don't know. I'm just not gravitating towards it. It's not necessarily a bad product, but it just sits in my drawer. All right, and the next products I'm going to talk about with you guys are products that I reach for pretty frequently, but aren't necessarily my favorite products. Like I'm using them quite frequently, but I'm not in love with them. So the first thing, and which I'm wearing today, is the e.l.f. Volume Plumping Mascara. I think it does an okay job, you know, of separating and volumizing my lashes, both upper and lower, but it doesn't thicken that much, and it's just okay. It's not like blowing my mind like the Wet n Wild mascaras, but it's also not bad. So I like it. I'm going to use it up, but I don't think I will repurchase it. If I repurchase it, it will only be so that way I can switch up my mascara, so I'm not using a Wet n Wild mascara every single time that I do a tutorial and every single time that I put on my makeup. But other than that, like if that wasn't really, like say I wasn't a YouTuber, no way would I repurchase this. I would just keep getting the Wet n Wild ones. The next thing that I want to talk about is the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set Spray. It's okay. It's not, like I mentioned before, it's not refreshing, and I really like my setting sprays to be refreshing. I just think that makes the experience better, especially because it's really hard to tell if a setting spray is working or not, at least for me. I've never been able to tell if it's truly the reason why my makeup's lasting longer. So because it doesn't have a good scent, I'm just not into it. It's like almost halfway done. So I'm going to be using it up, but I'm not going to be repurchasing it. If I do end up repurchasing it, it will only be once again just to switch up what I show you guys on here so that I'm not so repetitive. The next thing I want to talk about, which I have not used in a long time, but I can no longer use, and I'll explain in a second, is the e.l.f. Contouring Blush and Bronzing Powder. So when I first got this, guys, I was obsessed. I used this all the time. I use the bronzer, but I definitely use the blush more frequently. I remember really liking the blush, but I haven't used it in a while. And then one day I went and looked at it, and it was disgusting. Like, it is completely dried out. It looks crumbly and almost like, is that mold? I can't tell. Like, it's definitely old. I'm not, guys, I'm not picky about using old products. I am using stuff that I probably should not be using, but I am not gonna put this on my face. So, and this is a couple of years old, so I can't, it's not like I just got it and it went bad. So nothing, no problem with e.l.f. So I just haven't used it in a while, but I remember really liking the blush, but I would not touch the bronzer. Would I recommend this? If you're into bronzer, I would still recommend this. I don't know if this came with a mirror. There's some like sticky stuff here, so maybe there was a mirror and it fell out and I broke it, and I just can't remember doing it. But there's sticky stuff here, so I have a feeling that, I don't know, there may be a mirror. I don't know. But I remember really liking the blush. I know it's a dupe for one of the NARS blush and bronzer sets, so I'd rather you get this than that, and this is way cheaper. But for me, if you're into bronzer, I would get it. if you're not into bronzer, then I wouldn't get it. I think you could just find a different blush elsewhere from e.l.f. or from another company. Because I just hate like getting products and only using like half of them. That's why I'm not super into big highlighting or contouring palettes anymore, just because I feel like I can't get as much use out of it. I don't know, like I can find ways, but I just prefer not to. So sometimes I just like getting singles. My eyeshadow palette is great because I can use a bunch of stuff, but when it's pertaining to your skin tone, that's when I'm like, palette's really worth it. I don't know. And then the next thing, I actually use a lot. I almost put it in my favorite products, but it just didn't quite make the cut, is this e.l.f. blush in Mellow Mauve. And I do like that it comes with a mirror. It's a really small mirror, but a mirror nonetheless. And it's just a blush that I like to go to whenever I'm doing more like wear to work kind of looks, a little bit more day-to-day type of blush. And I like it, but I'm just not obsessed with it. Like if there's any blush that I'm obsessed with, it's the Milani Luminoso blush. I love that, but this one is just okay. Like I use it, it's fine, whatever. But yeah, I almost put this in my favorites. But I didn't feel good enough to put it in my favorites. But I do like this quite a bit, and I would recommend trying it out. Maybe you guys would like it a lot. There's other blush that I put in my favorites that I like more. Then the next two are these little e.l.f. Eyeshadow Quads, and this one's in Smoky, and this one is Matte for Plum. And these are not my favorite just because when I reach in here, I don't create a full look with these. You know, what I do is I usually reach in for the blacks that are at the bottom and use those for smudging underneath my lower lash line or lining my gel liner with black eyeshadow, or maybe putting black eyeshadow on the outer corner. Maybe I need to get this nude shade to put on my brow bone. Maybe I want to add a little plum to a look that I'm doing. You know, I don't really typically go for these grays. I got this for, I think, the Halloween tutorial because it's, here, let me open it. I got the gray one for a Halloween tutorial. I don't know if I even ended up using it, but I think I got this one too, thinking that I could use one of the colors for Halloween. So I don't really gravitate towards these, and when I do, it's usually just to get out the black shadow for a look that I'm doing. But yeah, other than that, I really don't reach for them. But I don't think that they're bad quality. I think they're okay. It's just a matter of how often are you going to use these shades. And it's only like $2 for these, so they're definitely worth giving a try. But there's one in my favorites, one of these types of things in my favorites that I'll get into in a second, or my best of e.l.f. that I do really like. So we're going to hop into those. I'm going to go grab those now. And before we get into that though, I do want to mention one brush. I just found it in my brush set, but it blended in with the case because it's black. But it is this e.l.f. blush, and I think it's like a small concealer brush, but I just never use it, and I try to use it, but it's just so freaking stiff that I don't know, I don't like having to work with it. I think for whatever reason, I think it's just too stiff for really anything to put concealer on and try to cover a zit. I think it's too stiff. And then like trying to use it as like an eyeshadow brush. I don't even know what this brush is for. I'm pretty sure it was for a concealer, or maybe it's like a flat eyeshadow brush just to put on the top, but I never go for it. I only use it whenever I need a clean brush, and I don't have any other one that's gonna work well enough. So this is actually one of my least favorite products from e.l.f., but it just blended in with my other stuff. All right, so we're gonna get into the best of e.l.f., but right now I'm gonna talk about my least favorite of my favorite, and then we'll get into my like top holy grail favorite e.l.f. products. Okay, so I was just talking about the e.l.f. eyeshadow palette that I do like, one of the quads, and it's this one right here, and I used it today. This was in Golden Goddess. I think out of the 3 quads that I got, this one is the one that I can actually create one full look with that I would love to, because it's a warm palette. It has shimmery shades. You have like the nice lid color, good crease colors, outer corner color, an eyebrow color, inner corner color. Like, these are so great. Typically though, I don't do a full look with this palette just because I really, really like metallic titanium finish eyeshadows on the lid. And that's nothing to say against this. That's just like kind of like my go-to type of look, is to do shades like this surrounding that, you know, really in your face lid shade, because I don't like right now, this one I'm wearing this base color on my lid. But typically I would go for like ColourPop Liberty or something like really in your face on my lid, and I use these to complement that shade. But this one, you can do a full look using it. I did this in my fall get ready with me video using this palette, and I think it's just really pretty. So I put this on my lid and my inner corner, and then I put something else elsewhere. That's from a different palette, but I do like this. And then I was telling you guys that there was a blush that I liked, and it's actually the blushes from this e.l.f. Total Face Glow palette. It's from the Beautifully Bare collection. This thing had a really long name, but I always go for this blush. I like this blush too, but I'm always going for this blush. I really, really like it a lot. I never use the bronzer. I could use it as like a crease color maybe, but like I said, I am not a bronzer person, but I really like these blushes, and I really especially love this blush a lot. So I've been using this quite frequently. I like this highlighter. It's not my favorite highlighter of all time, but it does what it's like. This palette is Beautifully Bare. It's supposed to be a more natural look. So this does provide a natural highlight. So I don't typically go for natural highlights, but if I did, this is what I would gravitate towards. So I pretty much use everything except for the bronzer. I could find a way to use the bronzer, but whatever. And then I like that it comes with a mirror, which is really nice. So, but I really love this palette. I've been really enjoying using it. So I would recommend it if you have a fair skin tone like me. If you have a darker skin tone, I wouldn't go for this one. Maybe there's a different one that e.l.f. has that may work better for you, but I definitely think this is meant for someone with fair skin. Then a powder that I've been loving is the e.l.f. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder. I use this powder, I'm trying to open it. I use this powder all the time. You guys will probably see it listed in my description box a lot. I've used it in makeup tutorials, but it's the lightest foundation powder that I have. So I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing it underneath my eyes, so it really helps brighten up your face. If you have really fair skin, this is something that you should try, because a lot of other powders out there are just a slight bit darker. So it's just a matter of preference, but I really do like it. I like the formulation. It doesn't blow me away, but I like it. Then we have this e.l.f. Clear Lip Lacquer. I use it as my clear lip gloss to put on top of other lip products. So it's not my holy grail product, because a lip gloss can never be a holy grail product for me, because it's just, I don't really care for lip gloss, but sometimes I will use it depending on what kind of look I'm trying to create, if I'm in the mood. But I got a clear one just because a clear one can go with any lip shade that you are wearing. And apparently last time I used this, it was blue, because there's blue on the lip on the sponge part of it. But it works really well. Like, it's not a bad lip gloss. It's not something spectacular, just because I don't think lip gloss can ever be that spectacular, but I like it and it works really well. So I'm definitely gonna, if I ever happen to run out of this or it gets old, I'll repurchase this, because it's a really affordable clear lip gloss. So I'd recommend getting this if you are a lip gloss person, or maybe just need it on a rare occasion. I also talked about the e.l.f. liquid lipsticks earlier in the video, but this is the one that I do not mind, which is e.l.f. Marvelous. I still want to use it a couple of times before I necessarily recommend it, just because I just want to double check, especially after today putting on the red and having my natural lip color peek through. I'm like, I want to double check this again, so I want to put this on again just to see. But the thing is, this color is pretty close to my natural lip color, so I from what I can remember, I don't think my natural lip color shines through. Like, you don't see like patchiness or anything, just because they blend so well together. So out of all the lip shades that I tried, this one gives me the least amount of trouble, and I think that's strictly because it blends well with my natural lip color. The other ones are too contrasting with my natural lip color that anything bad shows immediately, or you can definitely tell. This one, I don't think you can really tell if there is a problem, but I'm gonna double check. But if you're gonna try any of these, I think this is a good one to start with. And the last product I'm gonna talk about is the e.l.f. Cream Eyeliner in black. So that is what I'm wearing today. And I really like it. It's not my holy grail product. It didn't quite make that. It was kind of close. I was kind of thinking it would be on the very upper part, but I'm just not a huge gel fan. I'll wear it sometimes. I'm more of a liquid eyeliner fan, just because I feel like it doesn't transfer as easy when it's liquid. It really dries. This one still kind of stays a little creamy, but I do like it. So if any of you have tried this, let me know what your thoughts are on it and how it compares to other eyeliners. Especially, I kind of want to know, Jay Homey mentioned this on one of her latest like hauls or whatever, the Anastasia gel liner. I want to try that if it's good. So I'm kind of waiting to hear her thoughts on that. If you guys have tried it, what do you think about it? If you've tried both the Anastasia one and this e.l.f. one, how do they compare? I'd really like to know. But this is a pretty good product, especially for the price. Like, I don't really have a problem with it per se. It's just I'd rather use a liquid liner. All right, and then we have this e.l.f. Elsa Snow and Ice Beauty Book, which is really dirty. One of my, like, when I was supporting Morphe, my Morphe palette, it's my Jaclyn Hill palette, hopefully no one gets mad, but one of the eyeshadows just completely broke, so it got all over this, so I have to be really careful. So it's really dirty, which sucks because I wanted to use this on display at some point in time, so hopefully I can clean it off, but it's pretty bad. It comes with this mirror inside, which is really nice. It's limited edition. You can't get it again. I don't know if it'll ever be re-released. And then it comes with this brush right here, which I don't know if the brush is vegan or not. Because the black ones and the white ones are apparently not vegan friendly. At least they weren't at one point. I don't know. But anyway, I got this before I went cruelty-free and vegan. But everything else in here should be vegan because all e.l.f. makeup products are vegan. And then it comes with some really pretty eyeshadows. I remember using Olaf quite a bit. I really liked that one. The other ones worked okay, but I think whenever I was using eyeshadows, I usually got the Olaf one. The eye pencils I rarely ever use. The lip gloss I don't ever really touch, but I don't know if this is out in another form, but this highlighter, which is what I'm wearing today, is amazing. This is the Snow Queen highlighter. It is so bomb. I don't know if maybe there's like a dupe from e.l.f.'s highlighters. Like, I don't know if e.l.f. has this already out in a more permanent form, or at least something close to it from their highlighter collection. But if I can find a dupe for it, I'd be so excited because I really love this highlight. So, yeah, I love the Snow Queen highlight. So I really, really like this book. I think the book is really cute. I really like the highlighter. I think the whole thing is worth it because of the highlighter and the fact that it comes in this cute little book form. And I like that it comes with eye pencils. I still use the eye pencils, the black eyeliners, but it's limited edition, so that's just the sucky part of it. So let's stop talking about it. Okay, so before we get into the best of the best like products, we're going to talk about the makeup brushes first. So I have two of these e.l.f. small stipple brushes. One of them, this one did break. So I don't know if it's because of the way that I washed it or like it got loose, but one of them got loose. The other one's fine, but I have two of them, and the main reason why I got them was for contouring, because whenever I don't really contour anymore, so I don't really get as much use out of these, but whenever I did, what I would do is I would go around my face doing the circular motion around my face, and it did such a good job of blending in my contour. I absolutely love it, and these brushes are just really, really good. That's mainly what I use it for. I'm sure you can use it for other things, but if you are into contouring, you need this brush. This is so great for getting around the face, and I've even used it kind of like just tilting it to the side to kind of create a line and then just kind of blend it in, but I mainly like it to go around my face. Still though, really good quality brush. And you definitely need at least one small stipple brush in your collection. And it might as well be e.l.f. when it's so affordable. Another brush that I really like is the e.l.f. I think this is the small tapered brush or something like that. But it's just a tapered brush. It's really good for getting underneath of your eye to set your your concealer. And then it's also tapered enough that you can use it as like a highlighter, but it's just a really great brush to have on hand. So I really enjoy that. I have these two brushes. One is the small smudge brush, and the other one is the small precision brush. And these brushes I really like to put on when I really want to get a thin line on the top of my eyelid. I will use it for gel liner. I've also used these lately for my duo lash glue. So sometimes it comes out in a big chunk because of the way that it's broken. This is guys, this is probably completely my fault. I don't think that duo is, you know, has bad products. I think I broke it and then I'm trying to work with it broken. So a lot of product comes out, so I don't want to dump all that product onto my eyelash. What I'll do is I'll take one of these brushes and kind of dip it into the product, and then I will just slide them across the lash and then put the lash on. So I've kind of been using those for that, so I really like those a lot. I tend to go for those a ton. And then this brush, I think this is probably one of the best-selling e.l.f. brushes that everyone talks about quite a bit, and it's the blending brush, and it is a little bit tapered. I really love this to put in the crease, so you can get into the deep crease. You can do a blown out crease. I do prefer the SL Miss Glam, I believe, W18 brush, because that one's a little bit thinner and flatter. Both are just as fluffy, but just like the SL Miss Glam one, it's just a little bit thinner. So if you're going to use a darker eyeshadow, I would use that one in the crease. This one is fine as long as it's not too dark of a color to put in the deep crease, but I love this just for the blown out crease color in general. And if you just use the tip, you can even go underneath your lower lash line, especially if you have bigger eyes. This would be perfect for the lower lash line because you can place it with the tip and then just use the fluffiness to really blend it out. So I definitely want to get a backup of these. I think out of all the e.l.f. brushes, this is the one that I really need a backup of. It's not the one that I do have a backup of, but I do. Actually, I wonder if I repurchased one of these. I might have actually just got one of these like in like some sort of beauty box. I'm not sure. But the blending one is definitely one I need a backup of. All right, now we're gonna get into the products. The first product I wanna talk about is the e.l.f. Instant Brow Pencil. So that is what I'm wearing today. It is the perfect shade for my skin tone. I really appreciate the fact that this shade itself is more cool toned. I hate brow pencils that are warm toned, have a reddish tint to it. I hate it so much. So I really appreciate that this is so cool toned. The formula is good. It's not too waxy. It's not too creamy. It works really well. It's only, I think this is only like $2. And the brush is good. It's not my favorite brush. I still prefer the Anastasia Brow Wiz. The thing is, this is like a million times cheaper. So I'm going to keep repurchasing this, and I have repurchased this before. Maybe I'll splurge on an Anastasia one down the road, but at this point, like, why? Why do that when I can get this? Then, at one point in time, I never thought that this would happen, but the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer, and mine is in Fair. When I first got this, I was not amazed by it, so I always gave it such a hard time, but now I love it. Now I'm just like, okay, Alex, why don't you like it? You know, does it do a good job of coverage? Yes. You know, like, does it crease? No. Like, so, like, it does a good job of covering up, you know, what you need to cover up. I don't have any problems with creasing anyway, but I haven't noticed it ever crease. And I have some redness here, and it does a good job of covering it up. I've used it so much, whether I'm putting it on top of foundation or I'm kind of like using it as a foundation. So if I'm doing like a look on the go, I'll just put some of this concealer on my cheekbones and right underneath my eyes, on my lid and my crease, or my lid and my brow bone. And then if I'm gonna put eyeshadow on, I wanna make sure that I put this on first. So that's why I put it on my brow bone and on my lid as like an eyeshadow primer. So I use this so much. So I don't know what I would do without this product, especially because it's something that's affordable. You can pick it up at the drugstore. You know, I've replaced this at least, I don't know, we're about to get into the double digits. So I've gotten this a lot. The next product, especially that I've been talking about a lot lately, is the e.l.f. Matte for Matte palette in Nude Mood. I wore this shade today in the crease and the lower lash line. I typically gravitate towards this end of the spectrum. Occasionally we'll go with these darker browns if I want to do an outer corner shade, but I typically go for this for natural looks, and I love it. Like, it is my go-to palette, is my day-to-day palette. It's a good wear to work palette. Like, it's a good starter palette. I really recommend, if you don't have this palette, to get it. I definitely want to try more matte for matte palettes from e.l.f. Cosmetics, but I'm really glad that this one's the first one that I started out with. So I really like it a lot. I use it a lot. I don't necessarily like use just this palette for a full look. You can, I have done it, just doing a full eyeshadow look with just this palette, but a lot of times I'll use it to complement a different lid shade that I get, because I've mentioned many times I like a metallic titanium finished lid. But if you're doing something more natural wear to work, you can easily stick within this palette. Oh, and it does come with a mirror, and it is sleek. Then the next foundation, which I think is like my favorite foundation of all time. I am so blown away by how amazing it is. I'm almost out of it. I'm going to cry when I finish it. And it is the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation. This is such a good foundation, guys. It provides a great amount of coverage without feeling too heavy, you know, so it covers up my redness on my cheeks. It's, you know, thick enough to cover what you need to cover and even out your skin tone. But it's also dewy enough. Like, it's not like, it's like perfect in between. So, you know, it's not super liquidy, it's not super thick, but it's thick. So I don't know, it just feels really nice on the skin. I don't really feel it on my face. My skin looks great when I wear it. I have no issues. I don't think I have one issue with it. My only issue with it is that e.l.f. that's written on here got rubbed off, because I've used it so much, I've taken it on the go, that the e.l.f. that was written on here rubbed off. And that is my only beef with this. And I know a lot of people like pumps, but because of how this is packaged, it easily squeezes out. So so if you don't have a pump, I think the next best thing is a squeeze one. And this one is good for on the go too, because sometimes ones with the pump, they come in like a glass casing, which are more prone to breaking. So this is actually easier on the go and a little bit more lightweight. So I really like this one a lot. I highly recommend checking out this foundation. It is so good. It's affordable. It's from the drugstore. Love this. Now the next product I'm constantly talking about and will not shut up about, but the next one is the e.l.f. Makeup Remover Cleansing Cloths. These are the best cleansing cloths that I've ever tried. pre and post going vegan and cruelty free with my makeup. They're, you know, affordable. They're really hydrating. So if you're trying to get a bunch of liquid lipstick swatches off your arm, this is what you need to go to. When you're trying to get a bunch of makeup off your face, like typically I try to shower, wash my face in the shower, and then I get out of the shower and, you know, makeup's everywhere. Then I go in with one of these. But if it's that night where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna get a shower, but I need to take my makeup off, I'm like, thank God I have these, because these are wet enough and hydrating enough to really get the makeup off your face without burning your skin, without feeling like you're ripping your skin off, without irritating it with like perfumes or scents or anything. Like it's just a holy grail makeup set of removers. Like I really don't ever see myself purchasing, and it's not like, you know, on my channel where I really show makeup wipes a lot, where I'm trying to show you different eyeshadow looks or different foundations and stuff. Like, I'm just removing my makeup, so it's not like I feel like the need to try other things. If you guys want me to try other things, I can, but I just don't see the point when this is already so affordable and amazing, and I love it. But I really recommend these. But let me know down in the comments what your favorite makeup wipes are, because maybe I'll try some. I tried one from Pacifica, but the scent to it just irritated my skin, and it still wasn't as hydrating as this. Then the last products I'm going to talk about with you guys, which are definitely some of my favorite products of all time, one of which is definitely a holy grail, I think the other one's kind of like a second holy grail too, are the e.l.f. face primers. This one is the Mineral Infused Face Primer, and this is the Poreless Face Primer. I think I've gotten 3 of the Poreless, and I've gotten about like 10 of the Mineral Infused. This is one of my most repurchased products ever. This one, and I think this e.l.f. HD, and the Makeup Remover Wipes, I think these are probably within my top 5 most repurchased products, if not my top 3 most repurchased products. I've gotten so many of them, but I love this. I got this originally because it was a dupe for the Smashbox Photo Finish primer that cost like 50 bucks, and this is like 5 maybe $7. It's so much more affordable, and I tried it and I really could not tell the difference. Like if someone had put a pump of this in one hand and a pump of the Smashbox in the other hand and didn't tell me which one was which, I would not be able to tell. Now I haven't used the Smashbox one in a long time, so I will say that, but once I got this, I felt like there was no need for the Smashbox one. When I first got the Smashbox one, I thought it was the most amazing thing. You know, it smoothed out my skin, made it so much easier to put on foundation. But once I got this, I never looked back. I never was like, I'm never getting the Smashbox one again. And now I especially won't, because it's not cruelty free. And I don't know if it's even vegan, but it's just amazing. I am so obsessed with the e.l.f. face primers, and I really do like the Poreless one. The Poreless one is just a little bit different. It's just, they're both gel-like, but this one has a little bit of a kind of a lotion-y feel to it. Like it's more of like a, like I've already described this to you guys before, so sorry if I'm being repetitive, but this one is like a slip and slide, and then the Poreless one is kind of like a pillow. But like the Wet n Wild one that I don't really like, the coverall one, that one is just like suntan lotion kind of lotion. This is more of like a mixture of the two, but it feels more of like you're laying on a pillow. Like that's how I'm going to describe it. But both really do a good job of smoothing out your skin before you put on face primer. This does have a little bit of a weird smell to it, but I'm actually growing to like it. Like I don't really mind it anymore. And then once you blend it into the skin, you can't smell it. At least I can't. So, and I love that it comes in the pink tubing. So these, you know, so I repurchased this a couple times. I repurchased this many times. I've tried the purple one once, but it wasn't any better than these two, so I kind of just got this one again. I want to try some of the other ones that are out, and I think I would even repurchase the purple one, and like I would love to do a review video on all of the e.l.f. primers, showing you all the different ones and how they look, how they compare, and whatnot. So I may do that down the road once I get some more. But at the moment, I would say these two are my favorites, so I would try these out. And if you don't like this one, maybe you'll like that one and vice versa. So, you know, I really like them. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know down in the comments what your favorite and least favorite products are from e.l.f. Cosmetics. What should I try? What should I stay away from? I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button below. Click that little bell so you're notified of when my videos have been posted. Like this video if you did like it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye! Alright, the next product that I posted about was the e.l.f. Matte for Matte palette in Joule Pop. As you guys know, I rave about the e.l.f. Matte for Matte palette and I've been calling it the e.l.f. Matte for Matte palette, but I should have been specifying that it's in Nude Mood. So I've been loving Nude Mood so much. I use it all of the time, but I definitely want to branch out and get more palettes. So this one is already out and you can get it on elfcosmetics.com. It is $10 and includes